Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss about transfer LC. What actually a transfer LC is, what is its description, what is the process flow of a transfer LC, what are those parties which are involved in a transfer LCs, how it is being differentiated between transferred LC, what is master LC and what is transfer LC. We will discuss both in details. What are the key points which we need to remember while issuing and settlement of a transfer LC? So without wasting time, let's begin. Transfer LC, as the name suggests, transfer. When a LC is issued, it is being transferred, right? So transfer LC is that type of LC where the exporter is here is the first beneficiary which has received the LC from the buyer. So that first beneficiary will transfer that credit to the another beneficiary, that is to the second beneficiary. So we can say that transfer LC is that LC which is transferred by the first beneficiary towards favoring second beneficiary, right? So we can say that in transfer LC, the first beneficiary which has received the LC from the buyer, it has forwarded that LC to the another beneficiary, that is to the second beneficiary. So here the first beneficiary is acting as a middleman, right? So transfer LC what? Transfer LC is that LC where the first beneficiary transfer that LC to the second beneficiary after receiving that LC from the importer. So this is called transfer LC. Now we will discuss the overview of a transfer LC. Transfer LC is best suited under the triangle trade. Now what actually a triangle trade is? Triangle trade is the trade which is happened between the three parties. So as the name suggests, triangle, tri means that three. So triangle trade is that trade which is facilitated between the three parties. What are those three parties? Here the three parties were the buyer, the first beneficiary and the second beneficiary. So whenever the trade happens between three parties, will be under a transfer LC or it will be under a back-to-back LC, right? As it is a trade among three parties, I have mentioned it is the applicant, first beneficiary and the second beneficiary. These were the three parties among which the trade happened under transfer LC. So here the intermediary is the first beneficiary which facilitates the trade between the importer and the exporter. The applicant is called as buyer or importer, whereas the first beneficiary is called as intermediary, or we can say that it as a agent or trader or broker. We can call it as a middleman. Whereas the second beneficiary is called as the seller or exporter. He is the ultimate supplier. One point we need to remember, transfer LC, whenever the first beneficiary transfer that LC to the second beneficiary, so it can transfer the whole LC, whole credit value to the second beneficiary, or it can transfer the partial credit to the second beneficiary. Means either it can transfer the whole LC in favor of second beneficiary or it can transfer the part of that LC. Now we will understand what is triangle trade as just we have discussed in the overview of a transfer LC. Here we can see that there was three parties, the first beneficiary, the importer and the second beneficiary. As we can see this in transfer triangle trade, as we can see the importer has issued the LC with the transfer clause. Means the LC is issued but here there is a clause mentioned which is known as transfer clause. After that, once the first beneficiary has received that LC from the buyer, or we can say from the importer, then after that the first beneficiary will transfer that LC and will assign that LC to the second beneficiary. Okay, after that the second beneficiary will make the shipment of the goods. Okay, so once the beneficiary ships the goods, the first beneficiary will make the payment to the second beneficiary. After that the buyer will make the payment to the first beneficiary. Right? This is called the triangle trading. As we can see, there were three parties. So the trade happened, or the trade facilitating between the three parties is called as triangle trade. Now we will discuss about the description of transfer LC. What actually a transfer LC is? It is a credit facility where the first beneficiary having the right to transfer that LC to the second beneficiary. So here the first beneficiary is having the right to transfer that LC to the second beneficiary. The one of the most important point which we need to remember, that a LC which is stating that it is transferable, then only it can be transferred. If LC, or we can say that if a credit is not stating that it will be transferable, then it can't be transferred to the second beneficiary. If credit is stating that it is transferable, means that the LC can be transferred. If LC is not stating that it can be transferred, so it can't be transferred. So a transfer LC need to specify the transfer clause as well as mention that specifically transferable. If that clause is in the LC, then it can be transferred, else it can't be transferred. Transfer LC, we can call it as a transmission LC, or we can call it as a assignment LC. As here we can know that as LC is being transferred, so here it is will called as transmission LC or assignment LC. The bank which is issuing that LC is called as transfer LC. When the first beneficiary bank transfer that LC to the second beneficiary, the bank which is transferring that LC is the issuing authority of that LC. The bank which is transferring that LC from first beneficiary to second is the issuing authority of that LC. So that bank is called as transferring bank. We will discuss about this transferring bank later in this video. Count of the LC issued under transfer LC. As we know that transfer LC is the LC which is issued by the importer in favor of the first beneficiary. After that, the first beneficiary will transfer that LC to the second beneficiary. So here the only one LC is issued. There is no another LC is issued under transfer LC. So in transfer LC, only one LC is issued, which is further transferred to the second beneficiary by the first beneficiary, right? It is not similar to the back-to-back LC, where in back-to-back LC there were two LC were issued, but here in transfer LC there is only one LC is issued. What is the security under transfer LC? As we know that transfer LC is a separate credit which is issued by a issuing bank, and the same is being transferred to the second beneficiary. So it is independent LC. It is not depending on some another credit, just like as back-to-back LC. Wherein in back-to-back LC, the second LC, which is called as back-to-back LC, is issued on the basis of security of that first LC. But here, there is only one LC issued which is transferred to second beneficiary. So it is the independent credit. There is no security in the transfer LC. As I mentioned just about few minutes ago, as any LC which is stating that it can be a transferable LC, but any LC can be a transferable LC if that LC specify that it will be transferable, then only it can be transferred, else it can't be transferred to second beneficiary. Means if LC or credit is stating that it will be transferable, then only that LC will be called as transfer LC if it is issued by a first beneficiary, once it is transferred by first beneficiary to second beneficiary. Right? Now we will discuss the process flow of that LC. As we know, the only one credit is issued, so one credit, how it will be issued? It will be issued from buyer to first beneficiary, and from first beneficiary it will be forwarded to, or it will be transferred or assigned to second beneficiary. So what's the actual process flow? As we know that after the sales agreement is created between the importer and the first beneficiary, and second beneficiary, So there will two sales order will be generated. First between importer and the first beneficiary, and the second one is between the first beneficiary and the second beneficiary. So after that sales agreement is created, then the applicant will apply for an LC with his bank, that is issuing bank. Then issuing bank will forward that LC to the advising bank. After advising bank will forward that LC to the first beneficiary. First beneficiary will apply for a transfer LC request with either with the nominated bank or either with the transferring bank. What is this those bank? We will discuss also this in later in this video. After that, the transferring bank or nominated bank will transfer that LC to the second beneficiary. So this is the actual process flow. Now, what is the type of LC? As we know that it is a primary or original LC. Why it is called as primary or original LC? Because here the LC is only issued once, but after that it is transferred to second beneficiary. So there is no separate credit is issued. So it is called as primary or original LC. It's just forwarded once it is issued. So we can say that transfer LC is a primary or original LC, as there is only only one credit is issued, which is for the transfer to second beneficiary. So there is no another credit issued. When there is no another credit issued, then it can't be a secondary or subsidiary LC. Right? Now this is the process flow of a transfer LC. Now we will discuss the process flow of, or we can say the steps involved in issuing or settlement of a transfer LC in detail. As we can see this, here there is importer and importer's bank, exporter and exporter's bank. Here exporter is the first beneficiary. After that we can see this, there is a second beneficiary and there is its bank. As there is sales agreement happened between the importer and the first beneficiary, and as well as from between second beneficiary and first beneficiary. So as we can see this, there is an agreement between sales agreement between importer and the exporter, and the exporter and the second beneficiary. So after that, once the agreement is happened, then the importer will apply for LC issuance request with importer's bank. Importer bank will transfer that LC with transfer clause. So once the LC is transferred to exporter bank, or we can say to first beneficiary bank, then the first beneficiary bank will advise that LC to the first beneficiary. Once the LC is advised with the first beneficiary, then the first beneficiary will apply for a transfer LC request with his bank. Then his bank will transfer that LC to the second beneficiary bank. Then the second beneficiary bank will advise that LC to the second beneficiary. As we can see in this, after that, once the LC is advised, then the second beneficiary will ship those goods directly to the buyer or directly to the first beneficiary as per the agreement between them. After that, once the good is shipped, then the second beneficiary will submit its shipping document with his bank, that is the second beneficiary bank, or we can say that supplier bank or manufacturer bank. Right? Once the document is received with this bank, then this bank will forward those documents to the first beneficiary bank. Right? Forwarding those documents to the first beneficiary bank. Then first beneficiary bank will make the payment to the second beneficiary bank. Then second beneficiary bank will release that payment to second beneficiary account. Right? So as we can see this, under this, the transfer LC settlement is already happened between these four first beneficiary, second beneficiary, and say they are both bank. So here once the document is forwarded by this bank to this bank, then this bank has make the payment to second beneficiary bank, which has further settled their account of second beneficiary. So here the second beneficiary has already received the payment. After that, once the document is forwarded, then the exporter bank will notify the first beneficiary that he has received so and so document from this bank. So once the first beneficiary receive the information of his document, then the first beneficiary will provide substitute document to his bank, to the first beneficiary. means after first beneficiary bank has received document from second beneficiary bank, then this bank will inform his own customer that he have received so and so document. So after receiving so and so document, the first beneficiary will substitute the document. What is substitution of document? He will change the document. Means here the first beneficiary will change the invoice and will change the bill of exchange. Once the bill of exchange and invoice is changed, then after that this bank, the first beneficiary bank, will forward those document to the importer's bank. Once those document is received at importer bank counter, the importer bank counter, then importer bank will release the payment to the first beneficiary bank. Then first beneficiary bank will credit the payment to the first beneficiary account. So this is the actual process flow of how a transfer LC is issued and settled. This is the diagram where we will learn what actually a transfer LC is and what actually a master LC is. As we can see this, there was three parties. There is a importer, first beneficiary and the second beneficiary. Right, importer, the first beneficiary and the second beneficiary. Here we can see this, when the LC is issued by the importer in favor of the first beneficiary, then that LC is called as master LC. Why it is called as master LC or export LC or primary LC or original LC? Why it is being called as master LC? Because this is the original LC which is issued by the importer to the first beneficiary. So here the first beneficiary is the exporter. So this is why it is called as export LC. Master LC it is because it is the original LC which is issued by importer in favor of first beneficiary. Now what is transfer LC? When the first beneficiary transfer the same LC which he has received from the importer, means whenever the first beneficiary transfer the master LC in favor of second beneficiary, then that LC is called as transfer LC. Means whenever the importer issue LC in favor of first beneficiary, that LC is the original LC which is called as master LC. When the same master LC is transferred to the second beneficiary, then that LC is called as transfer LC. Hope you understand this. Now we will discuss in detail master LC. As we know, this LC is issued by importer in favor of first beneficiary, right? Here it is mentioned that LC opened by a buyer bank in favor of first beneficiary is called as master LC, as we have learned just right away. Under master LC, the buyer has to make the payment. As we know that under the master LC, when the importer has issued the LC in favor of first beneficiary, so here the importer will make the payment to this and the first beneficiary will ship the goods to importer. So under master LC, the buyer will make the payment to the first beneficiary. Now what is the value of that payment? Now that payment will comprise of the actual value of that goods or the service which he has received, along with the commission of the middleman. Who is this middleman commission? Middleman is the first beneficiary and his commission. Means whenever the buyer make the payment against the import of that goods, then he will make the payment of the actual value of that goods plus the commission of the first beneficiary, right? Whenever the master LC is opened by the buyer in favor of the first beneficiary, so at the time of settlement of that LC, the buyer will make the payment to the first beneficiary. So that payment will include the commission of middleman also. Middleman here is the first beneficiary, right? What is the commission portion? So that commission portion is unknown to that applicant, right? The most important point which we need to remember under master LC is that here the shipment date and the credit expiry date must not expire before the expiry of transfer LC. As we know that under this, when this LC is issued, master LC is issued by a buyer, then with with in favor of first beneficiary, then the same LC is transferred to second beneficiary. So here the ultimate supplier is the second beneficiary. So he has to ship the goods first, then those goods will be forwarded by first beneficiary to importer. So this is the seller, this is the buyer. The first settlement will be done between this. So we can say that the settlement between the transfer LC will be settled first. After that the settlement under master LC will be settled. So transfer LC will be settled first. After that the master LC will be settled. So here, as the shipment date and the credit expiry date must not expire before the expiry of transfer LC. Why I am saying that the shipment date and expiry of that credit must not expire? Because here under master LC the shipment, here under the master LC the shipment will be made, here in the master LC the shipment will be made after the shipment is made in the transfer LC. Why? First the shipment will be made under transfer LC because the middleman which is selling the goods to the buyer, then it can only sell those goods to the buyer once it has received from the ultimate supplier, then only. So when it will receive from the ultimate supplier, when it has shipped the goods. So here we can understand under transfer LC the second beneficiary will ship the goods first. After that then only the first beneficiary will receive those goods, then only he can sell it to the buyer. So the shipment date under master LC must not expire before the shipment date of the transfer LC. Or we can say that the original LC must not expire before the transfer LC. Right? So as we know that the shipment also will be first made of transfer LC, also the settlement will be made first in the transfer LC. Whereas under master LC the shipment will be made by when the shipment is made by transfer LC. After that the settlement also will be made later. So the shipment date and the expiry date, under a master LC must not expire before the expiry of both of the date under transfer LC. Right? Under master LC, if we talk about the commission portion of that intermediary, then it should be derived from the master LC, or we can say the proceed of the master LC. From why? If you want to earn something, or you were driving that commission from a LC or from any trade agreement, then that commission will be from whenever you will exporting something. When you were exporting something, then only you will receive the payment. So in that LC you will covering your commission, which you haven't covered in the transfer LC, or which can't be covered in the transfer LC. So the commission of the intermediary is under the proceeds of master LC. Hope you will understand both of the points. Both point is need to be understood carefully, as the shipment date and the expiry of the credit under master LC should not expire before the expiry of both the date and the transfer LC. Right? Under master LC, here the value of credit can be either equal or can be greater than the value under transfer LC. As we know that master LC is the original LC, so it will be issued first, but it will be settled later. So the value under master LC, it can be greater than the value mentioned in the transfer LC, or it can be equal with the value of transfer LC, but it can't be smaller than the value under transfer LC. Means the value of the credit, value of the LC, the total value of the LC under master LC, it will be either equal or it will be either greater, but it can't be smaller than the value under transfer LC. So please make a note of this. Now whenever the credit value of a master LC is equal to the credit value of a transfer LC, it means that the whole credit is transferred to the second beneficiary by the first beneficiary. Means whenever the total value of a LC under master LC is equal to the total value of transfer LC, when the value of a credit under master LC and when the value under the transfer LC is same, then it means that the whole credit is transferred to the second beneficiary. Suppose there is a LC of $10,000 under master LC. Then if the transfer LC is also of 10,000, then it means that the whole LC is transferred to the second beneficiary, right? Whenever the transfer LC is less than the value of the master LC, if the value of transfer LC is less than the value of master LC, then it will be called as partial transfer of the credit. Means when the overall or total value of a master LC is greater than the overall value of the transferred credit, then it will be called as a partial transfer of a credit to second beneficiary. Now we will discuss about the transfer LC. As we have discussed just about master LC, which is issued by a buyer in favor of first beneficiary. Now we will learn about when the first beneficiary transferred that LC to the second beneficiary, that is called transfer LC. Or we can say that when the master LC is assigned or transferred to the second beneficiary after making changes in the master LC by a nominated bank if it is restricted LC, or by authorized transferring bank if it is a freely creditable bank. It will be called as transferable LC. Transfer LC and transferable LC both was the same. Transfer LC and the transferable LC both were same. Here I mentioned by a nominated bank. I mentioned here it is by a nominated bank, or also I mentioned by authorized transferring bank. Why I mentioned both? Now whenever the master LC, as I mentioned in the triangle trade, master LC whenever it is being assigned or transferred by the first beneficiary to the second beneficiary, then that LC is called as transfer LC. Now who will transfer that LC? There will be a bank which will transfer that LC, right? Now who is that bank? The nominated bank which has transferred that LC to second beneficiary. Then nominated bank is that bank which transferred that LC to second beneficiary. Why that nominated bank will transfer that LC? Because here the credit is restricted at the counter of nominated bank, or we can say that the LC is available with nominated bank. So when the LC is available with nominated bank, then that bank only can transfer that LC to the second beneficiary. Or we can say that when the LC is restricted, then it will be with nominated bank, then which can transfer that LC after making changes under the master LC. So I can say that whenever the nominated bank transfer that LC to second beneficiary after making changes in the master LC in case of restricted LC is called as transfer LC. Or I can say that whenever the LC is transferred via authorized transferring bank to the second beneficiary is called as transferring bank. So if that bank is transferring that LC, then it will be called as transferable LC. Now who is this authorized transferring bank? This is the bank with which the issuing bank has given authority, a special authority to transfer that LC to the second beneficiary. Why issuing bank has given the authority to the specific bank to transfer that LC? Because here the credit is available freely, means the credit is available with any bank. So avoiding confusion, the issuing bank here mentioned a specific bank which can only transfer that credit. So if it is a restricted LC, there will be a nominated bank that will transfer the LC. If it is a available, freely available credit, or we can that if the credit is available with any bank, then the specific authorized bank will transfer that LC. Once the LC is transferred, that will be called as a transferable LC, or we can call it as transfer LC. Under transfer LC, as we know that the buyer is, who's the buyer? Buyer is the first beneficiary who has transferred that LC to the second beneficiary. So here the first beneficiary has to make the payment to second beneficiary. So here the value of payment will only cover the actual value of the goods. Here the first beneficiary is importing goods from the second beneficiary. So the first beneficiary have to make the payment under transfer LC. So he will make the payment of the actual value of the goods or the service which he has received. Right? Under transfer LC, the shipment date and credit expiry date is prior to the date mentioned under master LC. As we know that the actual supply of goods or actual shipment of goods will be from the second beneficiary only. So once the second beneficiary will ship the goods, then only the first beneficiary will receive those goods. Then only first beneficiary will transfer those goods to the buyer. So here the shipment will be done by the shipment will be done by the second beneficiary. So second beneficiary will make the shipment under transfer LC only. So the shipment date under transfer LC will be prior to the date mentioned under master LC. Right? Means that the shipment date will be earlier than the date mentioned under master LC. Right? Now we will learn about two things. One is the transferred credit and one is the transferable credit. Whenever the transferred credit is that credit which is already transferred to the second beneficiary, or we can say that is already available with the second beneficiary. And transferable credit is that credit which is yet to be transferred, but it will be made available to the second beneficiary soon. So transfer credit is already transferred to the second beneficiary by the transferring bank, and transferable credit is that it can be transferred to the second beneficiary by the transferring bank. So it is already transferred and the transferable credit is yet to be transferred. So there is the only difference in between both the credit is that under transferable credit it is yet to be transferred, whereas in transferred credit it is already transferred or it already made available to the second beneficiary. Right? So transferable credit is means we can that where the first beneficiary have an permission or having an authority to transfer that LC to the second beneficiary, but it has not transferred yet. Whenever it is transferred to the second beneficiary, it will be called as transfer credit. Right? Now what are those key points which we need to remember while we were issuing the transfer LC? As I mentioned earlier in my previous comments, as I mentioned that transferring bank. Who is this transferring bank? The bank which transfer that LC. Now if the credit is restricted, then the nominated bank will be the transferring bank. Whenever the credit is available freely, then the authorized the transferring bank will be the bank which will transfer the LC, which is authorized by the issuing bank. So as we know that under restricted LC, the credit is available with nominated bank. So here nominated bank will be acting as a transferring bank, as I mentioned. If the credit is available with any bank, or if we can say that if the credit is available freely, then issuing bank will permit a special bank. That bank will only transfer that LC to the second beneficiary. Now we need to know one point as well, as the issuing bank can also play a role of transferring bank. In maximum cases, the issuing bank is the transferring bank. The issuing bank can also transfer the LC to second beneficiary, right? But it has to be specified whether the issuing bank is playing a role of transferring bank or some another bank is playing a role of transferring bank. But it can play a role of transferring bank. If the credit is need to be transferred to subsequent beneficiary, then only first beneficiary can do. Whenever the credit is being transferred by first beneficiary to second beneficiary, then the first beneficiary have the authority to transfer that LC to the second beneficiary, right? But if the second beneficiary want to transfer that LC to another subsequent buyer, then he can't transfer that to the subsequent buyer until unless the first beneficiary transfer that. Means the first beneficiary can transfer that credit to second beneficiary, but the second beneficiary can't transfer that credit to subsequent beneficiary. So if the second beneficiary want to transfer that credit to another subsequent then the first beneficiary can do so, right? Here the subsequent means where we can say that whenever the beneficiary wants to transfer that LC another beneficiary. So here the first beneficiary can't be a subsequent beneficiary because it's only a for the first beneficiary is already a first beneficiary. How can it be a subsequent beneficiary? Right? So if second beneficiary want to transfer that credit to another subsequent then it can request to issue that to the first beneficiary to transfer that LC to subsequent beneficiary. But it can't transfer it at his own risk. If a credit is not utilized, then it can be transferred back to the first beneficiary only. If the credit is not utilized here means that if there is no shipment happened between that, if there is a amount is left under the transfer LC, then that unutilized amount can only transfer to the first beneficiary only. It can't be transferred to second beneficiary, it can't be transferred to the subsequent beneficiary. So please make a note of it. Now there is a one point which might create confusion among your mind. What is that point? It's point that LC can be transferred to more than one second beneficiary, but it can't be further transferred. LC can be transferred to multiple second beneficiary, but it can't be transferred from second beneficiary to third beneficiary. Remember that any LC, whenever it is made transferred to the second beneficiary by the first beneficiary, then second beneficiary can't transfer that LC to third beneficiary. But means that LC whenever the transfer LC can't be transferred to further to another beneficiary, but it can be issued in favor of multiple second beneficiary. Now whenever it is being issued in favor of multiple second beneficiary, then we have to make a note of below 2 points. What are those points? The partial shipment. The LC must allow partial shipment. If the LC is stating that there is no partial shipment is allowed, then that the LC can't be transferred to more than one second beneficiary, right? Because if the partial shipment is not allowed under that LC, then how that multiple beneficiary will make the shipment of those goods? Then it will be a discrepant, right? So whenever the LC is made available to multiple second beneficiary, then the credit must make the partial shipment allowed. Also, the aggregate value of the amount transferred does not exceed the original value of it. Why I am saying this point? If suppose the LC is transferred to 2 or 3 multiple second beneficiary, then if we add the value of all the beneficiary transferred value, then that the aggregate value of that all the transferred beneficiary value, then it does not exceed the original value. Suppose if the master LC of 10,000 and after that the two beneficiary were there, two second beneficiary were there, and the value is 5,000 and 4,000 or sorry 5,000 and 5,000. So whenever the value is 5,000 and 5,000, then it is under $10,000. So it will be allowed. If the credit is available with first second beneficiary is for 5,000 and for the second beneficiary is for 6,000, then it is exceeding the overall limit of the $10,000, so it can't be allowed. So whenever the value of the transfer LC among different second beneficiary must come under the criteria of the overall value of the original LC. Means if the LC is transferred to multiple second beneficiary, then the aggregate value of the all the second beneficiary beneficiary LC transfer value then should come under the exact value of the original transferred LC, right? Now LC can be transferred to one or more second beneficiary, but it can't be transferred further. As I mentioned, when the LC is transferred to second beneficiary, it can't transfer to another third beneficiary, but that LC can be issued in favor of multiple beneficiary. Then that request will be this can be only done by the first beneficiary. Then first beneficiary can issue that LC in favor of multiple second beneficiary, but once the LC transferred to second beneficiary, then second beneficiary can't transfer that LC to the third beneficiary. Now we will discuss the terms and condition of the export LC. Export LC is called as the master LC and the transfer LC. So what are the point where we can accept? What are the point which should be identical or which should be same except the below points? If we are discussing about master LC and transfer LC, what are those points which need to be same except few points? What are those points which can't be changes, which can be changes in transfer LC while assigning to the master LC? Means what are those points which can be changed under master LC after transferring that? So the first is the credit amount. As I mentioned, either the LC can be fully transferred to the second beneficiary or it can be partially transferred, but it can't be more than the value of the master LC. So you need to remember that. Any unit price stated therein. Unit price is the actual value of a single product. Actual value of the single product. Unit price description is mentioned in the invoice. So it is the actual value of a single commodity of a goods, right? So it can be changed because whenever the middleman is acting as a agent between the buyer and the seller, so what he will prefer that the unit price of those goods will increase in the master LC agreement, whereas he will try to get the low price of the unit price in case of transfer LC, right? Because in transfer LC, what intermediary will prefer that the unit price of goods will be less in transfer LC, but the intermediary will prefer that the unit price of the commodity will be higher in master LC. Then only he can drive his commission, right? Now we will discuss the expiry date. The expiry date should not expire before the expiry of a transfer LC under master LC. Means expiry date of a master LC must not expire before the expiry of a transfer LC, right? Period of presentation. What is the number of days for which presentation is need to be made, when it is to be made? So that need to be determined. Latest shipment date is the date by which the shipment is need to be made, right? So that latest shipment date, it will be changed. In transfer LC it will be prior, after that in master LC it will be later than transfer LC, right? Now when transfer LC is transferred by the first beneficiary in favor of second beneficiary, so here the intermediary is trying to hide the name of the parties to avoid the loss of his business. Here the name of the first beneficiary may be substituted for that of the applicant. Why? Because here it is making a commission. If he has highlighted the name of that party, so it can be expose his business. So here the name of the first beneficiary may be substituted, right? So this is all about my video. Hope you like the video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.